Hello, Tadiaha. Hi, I'm Mark Tarik Gumiran, your lecturer for the foreign language Mandarin subject. And today we will be talking about the pronunciation rules, the Chinese numbers and counting, and the measure words of and liang, and the overview of the tone marks and the pinyin sounds as well, which will be divided. The video will be divided accordingly, so please be guided. And I have provided a copy of this topic. You may access your Moodle account and please follow along. You may turn to this page or search this page. Okay, the Pinyin pronunciation rule. Okay, I have given you a few examples here about the pronunciation rules. So first on the list is the letter Z. Okay, in Mandarin Chinese, Z, any word that starts with letter Z is pronounced with a DZ sound. So any words in Mandarin language that starts with the letter Z is pronounced with a DZ sound. Please take note of that. I'll give you examples as we continue with our discussion. Okay, next on the list is ZH, the letter Z and H. Okay, it is similarly pronounced to an English letter J. So if you encounter any words or any word that starts with letter Z and H in Mandarin, it is usually sounded like the letter J in English. So please take note of that. Third on the list is the letter Q. Okay, letter Q in Mandarin language sounded like CH. It is similar to the English letters C and H. So if you encounter any words that starts with letter Q in Mandarin, it is usually sounded like CH with a curling of your tongue as you pronounce it. Let's say, for example, the number 7 in Mandarin. Number 7 in Mandarin is Qi. Qi. It is spelled as QI, but we pronounce it as Qi. Following the rules of CH sound, we read it as Qi, not Ki. Ki is a wrong pronunciation. Remember, the pronunciation of Q is Qi. Qi. Qi means 7 in English. Next on our list, the letter X. Letter X in Mandarin sounded like the letter S and H in English. So it is pronounced as sh, sh. When you pronounce it, you have to curl your tongue. You have to curl your tongue to pronounce sh, sh, sh. Okay, let's say, for example, the word 谢谢. 谢谢. 谢谢, which means thank you in English. 谢谢. We don't pronounce it 谢谢. 谢谢 is a wrong pronunciation. Rather, we pronounce it as 谢谢. 谢谢你, which means thank you. 谢谢. Remember, X is pronounced with the sound of SH. Okay. Next on our list is the letter C. Okay, letter C in Mandarin sounded like the letter TS in English. TS. Letter T and S. For example, vegetables. In Mandarin, vegetables is called chai. 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 So C sounded here like TS, so chai, chai, which means vegetables. Chap chai, chap chai, chap chai. Chap chai is a kind of dish, a Chinese vegetable dish, which is very similar to the local food, the Filipino food, chop suey. We call it chap chai, chap chai. So remember, letter C in Mandarin is sounded like TS. Okay. Next on our list, if you look at the encoded list that I have provided for you, you will see 3 example words there: the CHI, the SHI, and the ZHI. Okay, the ending I is pronounced with an ER sound. The ending I is pronounced with an ERR sound. So, I have given you 2 examples below, listed below. There are 2 examples. The first one is, I want to buy a newspaper. I want to buy a newspaper. I want to buy a newspaper. I, which translate in Mandarin, 我 means I. To buy is my. Newspaper is 报纸. Okay. Note that 报纸 in Mandarin is spelled in Pinyin this way. Bao zhi, which means newspaper. Okay, the rule here again is the ending I is pronounced with an ER sound, so we pronounce it as 报纸. Okay, good. Next example here. What do you want to eat, or what would you like to eat? So in Chinese, we say 你想吃什么？你想吃什么？你 means you, 想 which means would like, 吃 means to eat, 什么 is what. So take a look at the notes that I have provided for you. So I have 2 examples there. The word 想, which means would like, 想. It is spelled X-I-A-N-G. And the rule here for the word X, it is pronounced with the letter S and H. So we read it as 想. 你想吃 吃 is to eat. 吃. If you take a look at the spelling, it is spelled as CHI. And the rule of ending I is it is pronounced with an ER sound. So 你想吃什么? 你 means you. 想 which means would like. 吃 which means to eat. And 什么 means what. So we read it as 你想吃什么? 你想吃什么? Okay, now you know the rules on basic pronunciation of the pinyin sounds. Okay, moving along. Okay, let's talk about the Chinese tone marks. Okay, Chinese characters has its corresponding pinyin, and each pinyin has a specific tone. The tone marks are used to distinguish and differentiate each Chinese characters. Each Chinese characters with exact pronunciation of pinyin with a different tone marks give a different meaning. So what does it mean? I'll give you an example as we go along. Okay. It says here that Chinese characters with an exact pronunciation of pinyin with different tone marks gives different meaning. The word ma in Chinese the word ma in Chinese. Okay, generally speaking, there are 4 different tones of pinyin sounds. Okay, there is a first tone, a second tone, a third tone, and a fourth tone. Okay, what are the differences of these tones? The first tone, okay, it is highly and level tone marking corresponds to a flat, yet high vocal pitch sound. It is spoken at the top of your vocal range. That's the characteristic of the first tone. Second tone, rising tone begins at the middle of your voice and rises quickly to the top of your vocal range. Third tone, or the V tone. Okay, the falling and rising tone begins at the middle of your voice, it dips down to the bottom of your vocal range, and then rises at the end. I'll be giving you examples later on. And the fourth tone, falling tone begins at the top of your vocal range and ends at its bottom in a forceful or scolding manner. Okay, let's take a look at this example. The word ma. Okay, the first tone is flat. So how do we read it on the first tone? Ma, ma. That's the first tone. Ma, ma, which means mother. You can take a look at the given example that I have included in your notes. Ma, ma, which means mother. The second tone is the rising tone. Ma, ma. Note that the tone rises. Ma, which means a baby frog. Ma, 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 ma. Ma, which means a baby frog. A toad. Okay, and the third tone. The third tone, or the V tone. Ma, 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 which means horse. That's the third tone. And the last tone. Is the falling tone. Going down. Ma, 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 which means a scold. So, as we have mentioned earlier, okay, Chinese characters with exact pronunciation of pinyin with different tone marks give different meaning. So be careful of your tone, because the moment you change your tone, it gives a total different meaning of the word that you are saying. Okay, I have another example here. Let's take a look at this example. Baozhi, baozhi, which means newspaper with an ER sound. But if you pronounce it as baozhi, baozhi, baozhi talks about bread. So you're talking on a different word already, or you're talking about different thing. Okay, so please be mindful of your tone and how you pronounce Chinese words or the Pinyin words. Okay. Okay, so that ends the first part of our discussion about the pronunciation and the tones, and we'll be moving forward with another video, which will I be uploading in a while. So please review this, practice your pronunciation, so you'll get the mastery of the language. Thank you.